Hello, everybody. All right, give me a second. I got to try to spread the word about the live. Give me a second. And if you read the introduction to the video, this is going to be a little bit different video from what I normally make. Kind of. Everything's connected. No, everything's connected, but this is going to be a little bit of a different video. But give me a second because I got to warn the general population that I am live. I haven't been feeling too very good, y'all. I went swimming in the pool yesterday with my little boy, and I got water in my ear, and I think it's giving me an ear infection. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. You know what's crazy to me? Is so I have TikTok, right? Well, I made a video a little while back on TikTok of a velvet ant, which I call them cow killers. Do you see how many? Look how many views that video's got. You see that? How many views that dang thing? Over 355,000. Almost 354,000 views on the video, which is crazy. Would have had, if you could have told me that I could make a video of a velvet ant saying this is what in Texas we call a cow killer, and the sting of it is said to be so strong that it could kill a cow. You mean to tell me that that little video was going to get me I'm well on my way to see 500,000 views on that video, which, I looked up because I was just curious. I was like, it's going to be a viral video. What I still ain't made no money besides what money people send me, which is rare. Matter of fact, my dad, has sent me a few dollars, and then there was one person who, when I had the GoFundMe set up, which that turned into a big old crazy thing with the GoFundMes. This one guy donated twice, 2 different times, and one of them I wasn't never able to get because GoFundMe held the payment and said, we want to know how you know this person before we can release the money to you. And I don't know. I told him, was messaging with him back and forth and told him he was a friend of mine on Facebook, a follower on Facebook. That's how I know him. He's a friend who sent me a friend request. I've friended him. That's how we know each other. It's through Facebook. Well, I guess it ain't good enough for, it's a donation site. GoFundMe is you put up a donation and then people donate to you. Well, how in the hell do you put up a donation site for people to donate to you and then you hold their money from them and question them about how they know them? It shouldn't matter. It should not matter. You know what I mean? I understand security protocol and stuff like that, but look here. If an individual wants to be able to do something, they should be able to do it without you being questioned by somebody. I understand there's gullible people, whatever you want to call it. I understand that there's people that get taken advantage of and people look out for people. But you have to understand something. The title of this video, good things and bad things happen, right? There's just some of the things that's in my mind ever since my experience that I can try to explain to people. But you're never going to fully grasp what I am talking about until you die. Until you die. And it might not even be in this death. You might have to come back and live a lot of times before you have access to certain areas, because even in death, you have a role to play. There's things that, in this life, you have a role to play. Well, even after this life, in the afterlife, in death, you have a journey to follow. So your journey that you follow in the afterlife might not connect you to the things that I had access to. Why I used to question all the time, why me? Why me? Why? I don't understand. Out of anybody in the world you could have picked with more credibility to talk about these type of things, why did you pick someone like me, who was a drug addict at the time? I'm sober, by the way, y'all. Been sober for close to 3 or 4 months now. Congratulations to me. All I do now is smoke cigarettes. I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. I don't take pills anymore. I don't snort cocaine. I don't shoot heroin. I don't smoke methamphetamines. I don't do nothing. I'm clean and sober besides cigarettes. That's it. And a horrible diet. By the way, drinking Coke because I'm out of Dr. Pepper. It is what it is. Speaking of, so, ever since my, call it a spiritual awakening if you want to, I haven't been the same person. I'm no longer the same person because I realized that I am not even who I thought I was. I put a post on Facebook a while back and said, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? When you look at your reflection, do you see you? Do you know who you're looking at? Or do you not recognize that person? Is that person in the reflection a complete stranger to you? Well, after I had my experience, that's kind of what happened. I felt like I was looking at a complete stranger, right? I didn't know who I was looking at. I didn't know that person because that person was no longer alive. That person who I thought I was, they're alive in the sense, but in the sense that it just, something didn't feel right anymore about that life that I was living, that reflection, that life that led up to that moment looking in that mirror. It didn't feel right. But I know everything led to that that moment for a reason. There's reason for in this moment, things happen and feel the way they do. And there's a reason why I felt that. But ever since then, me and my girlfriend have had problems. Well, even way before this, whether it be because of my drug use or money, whatever, we've had problems. Well, her mom and dad lived with her grandma here in Chandler, and they moved out. So my ex-girlfriend now, I'm not what she wanted anymore, and as much as she wanted me to have the reaction as I'm hurt and tore up, I can't be. Because I don't feel like that. I don't feel that way. I don't feel hurt. I don't feel, I'm not fixing to sit here and jump for joy and be like, I'm single again, she's gone, blah, 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 blah. No, I don't feel that way either. I'm on the surfboard and I'm just riding this wave. And while I'm on this wave, I realize that I can control which way my board goes. You know what I'm saying? It's not the wave that controls me. It's me on the board that controls which way that I go on this wave. So I'm kind of in that sense of things right now. I'm not tore up and all depressed over this because I can be, but I'm choosing not to be. You see what I'm saying? And that's something that she had a very hard time understanding, is when I would tell her that, yes, being more acceptive of it. And don't get me wrong, I understand when people say stuff to you, like if you're in an argument with somebody and somebody knows exactly what to say to you to hurt you, and they say it, and you get hurt because of it. I completely understand that. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just speaking from my personal experience here. I'm to the point to where you could say nothing or do nothing. Mentally, physically, verbally, it doesn't matter. I am choosing to never let anyone hurt me because I've been hurt. I've been hurt and I've been knocked down so much, and I'm refusing to let it happen again. I realize that I'm in control of how I feel. You may do whatever you choose to do or say whatever you choose to say, but at the same time, you can feel how you want to feel. You can say what you want to say. I know who I am. I know what I've done. I know where I come from. I know where I'm going. I am who I am. And I'm not backing down. Even if you kill me, I'm never going to stop. I will come back. I have been back. Yeah, it happens. It does. It really does happen, and I've seen videos about it, people talking about when you have this spiritual awakening, friends, family, everything just starts to dissolve. I mean, it can happen. It really can happen. It was crazy because if you know any of my videos, my whole experience took place within 30 to 45 minutes. That was it. 30 to 45 minutes in physical form. But the experience itself took me through hundreds of millions of years. I mean, I realized that the soul that is me, that's in this body, that is piloting this body, because I say that I have put it into terms as this body is an airplane. We're airplanes, and you can put them on autopilot mode, when the pilot gets out of the seat and goes off, but the plane will still fly. It'll follow its programming in autopilot mode. Well, that's how these other bodies that I described was. They're autopilot planes because their soul, their operator, is not in them. They're on autopilot following a programming. Then when the pilot comes into the body, he can take the plane off autopilot mode and to begin to control it. He can fly it where he wants to. That's how I kind of explained it. And that's what I realized when I had my experience, is that I had been conscious in this body, but my pilot could not figure out how to take this body off of autopilot mode. And when I had my experience, I finally pushed the button just right at the right moment to take the body, take the plane off autopilot mode and start to control it. But it's weird how it works, because during my experience, I was shown something about realities. Oh, hold on. Like I was saying, sorry, y'all. So my girlfriend moved out, or my ex-girlfriend, and my son, we have a 5-year-old son together. He turned 5 in August, and he lives with her now, and I get him on the weekends. So I had him this weekend, but I had to take him home early because of my ear infection, and wasn't feeling very good, but I'm getting over it. I'm learning how to control my body and how to fight sicknesses and illnesses without any medicine, without even eating or drinking in certain ways. I'm learning how to control that a little bit better because I'm a firm believer in looking inside yourself and finding what is wrong with you and correcting it, because I believe you can. It's talked about in the Bible. And speaking of, I've been going on for almost 20 minutes on this video, but I wanted to open this video with a prayer, if that's okay. But give me 1 second. I want to turn the fan on. I don't know if I can smoke on here, but I'm going to. It's mine. But I wanted to open with a prayer, if that's okay. This is a Bible that was I call him my Paul. And I did. I completely outgrown it because it's not who I was supposed to. That was supposed to happen. That life, everything that led up to that moment when I was sitting in this floor in here was supposed to go that way. It was supposed to happen. But when it happened, it changed everything. I might look the same. When I look in the mirror, I see the same person. But I also can see my soul now. I also can see a lot. I can see, besides just physical reality, I can feel spiritual reality everywhere, in everything. I can see it in everything. Yes, it completely it flipped my world upside down. I no longer view anything the same way as I once did. Everything changed. But I wanted to read this with a prayer, or start this with a prayer. If I can find it. I think it's Psalms 3, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not. And yeah, I'm reading out of this Bible, even though I think it's a King James Bible. It's okay. Where is it? I'm trying to find it, y'all. Sorry. Well, I know what's in this Bible. I know what's in here. Hold on, I'm trying to look for it. Come on now. Where is it? I think it's... Oh, man, I can't... Hold on, I'm looking for it. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, hold on. It is a blessing, trust me. It is. Hold on. The prayer that I wanted to read, I think, was from the Psalm of David. And it's something like, "How many are my foes? If you know it, you know it." I can't find it at the moment. I thought I had it saved, but I don't. But it is a blessing, and at the same time, it can feel like a curse. All right. It can feel like a curse because everybody has problems, whether they have had a spiritual experience or not. You might have a good life, blessed life, or you might have a horrible life. Anybody can have problems. Positivity and negativity doesn't care about your race or your religion or your sexuality. No matter if you're what, you can have problems or you can have good things. So it is a blessing in a sense, in the sense that you're able to view the world in a different way, but it can feel like a curse because certain people that you might have around you that you really love and care about and want them to be right there with you, that are just not on the same vibrationary level as you, they go away. And that can really wear on you because you want them to come with you. You want them to be there with you. But because it's not their journey, you have to follow your path. You have to follow your path. And I'm not saying push everyone away. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes it just happens like that. Sometimes they fall back because it's not their race yet. They're not there yet. They eventually will be, but it is happening a lot. And that's what I wanted to get on this video, because I talk to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people all over the world, from Australia, from Africa, from India, the United Kingdom, here in the United States. I talk to people from all over the world. And a lot of people that reach out to me, it's not people that's just had experiences similar to mine in ways. It's people who are afraid. People who see things on the TV or on the news and they get afraid of it. Well, look here, when I had my experience, the thing that terrified me the most about my experience wasn't hell. Oh, I wanted to touch on this real quick because I made a video of this to remind me, and I just reminded myself of it. When I had my experience, when my soul was outside of my body, I remember walking through space with God the Creator. And if you watch any of my other videos, you know why I call him a he, because you see what you are supposed to see. If you are supposed to see Jesus, you see Jesus. If you're supposed to see Buddha, you will see Buddha. If you see a male, that's what you'll see. If you're supposed to see a female version of God the Creator, that's who you will see. God comes to you in a way that is for you to feel comfortable and safe with, to not question. That's who you will see. But when I was walking with him in space, there were these pillars. They were tall, round pillars. And they looked like, on the outside, river stones. But the mortar of these looked like magma. And I could hear screaming coming from inside the pillars. And it's weird how stuff works outside of this body, because I remember those cracks being, no bigger than that. But somehow I was able to fit and squeeze, and I looked in and I was squeezed, and I went into this crack because I was curious. I was told to look what was in there. And I never seen fire, but everything was a reddish orange color. And there was levels of like cliffs and everything. And everything was this red orange color, but there were people and they were screaming, and nobody, if one on this side of the mountain looked over here, they could see this other person, but they were being tormented. They were creating hell. Each individual that was in these pillars, that pillar was hell. But each person that's in there, each soul creates their own hell. Whatever your hell is, you create it. You live in it. And you get tormented creating it over and over and over again, but there's a purpose for it. Everything serves a purpose. Everything has its reason. And the reason that has to happen, that people create hell, is because there was something that was so terrible, so traumatic to you, that you just could not, when you died, you could not get over it. You could not let it rest. You could not make peace with it. So you had to create living in it, to learn how to get through it and pick yourself up, that you are powerful. You can overcome it. That's the purpose of the hell that I've seen. Everybody might see something different. Like I say, when I had my experience, yes, Canada, okay. And see, forgive themselves, that's something that I realized is, I have one video to where it was my dog. When I was 17, I tried to commit suicide. I had a .22 rifle that I put right under my chin, and I pulled the trigger. And I felt lightning from my tip of my hair on my head go all the way through my body. And I even took the bullet out and looked at it, and it had a hit on the back of it to where it should have went off, but it didn't. And right after that, I got a dog. She was a mutt, a Shiba Inu mix. And I believe that she was sent here. Like I said, I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in luck. But the soul that was in that dog was sent here to save my life. She was my guardian angel. That's what I'm a firm believer in that. And she did. She saved my life. She gave me a reason to get up every day and keep going. Miss that dog. Because to me, that she was more than just a dog. She was an angel. She was a perfect soul. She was pure. And that's what I believe that animals are, in a sense. That I thought it was like a spiritual evolution thing for the longest. And it can be, because if you understand anything about the reincarnation cycle, and when I say reincarnation cycle, it's a part of the multiverse and reincarnation cycle. They're like tied together. Yes, and see, some people might call it spiritual evolution or spiritual growth or just evolution of the soul. But I kind of thought before my experience that you start off small and then evolve as you go, and you still do in a sense. But I was like, okay, well, if you're in a human form, then that means you must have been animals before and learned about their lives and how the animal life works and what they think and what they go through to evolve to get to human, right? Well, that is a yes and a no, believe it or not. To get to this point, you do have to go through all these other stages. You have to be the air, the water, the trees, the grass, the water, fire. You have to be these things to evolve spiritually, because you have to feel them. You have to know what they mean. You have to be them to understand the meaning of them, to evolve spiritually. But in a sense that sometimes when a soul evolves enough, and you do see people that are struggling, the same reason prophets are sent here, or what's the word? There's prophets and channelers and stuff. The same reason that they're sent or choose to come here is to help guide the lost. That's the same thing animals are, can be. It all depends on what the soul that is in human form that is not awake, what they are going through. If they find an animal, the soul that is in that animal might have been here to help guide them, to help them along their journey. I'm a firm believer in that. I am a firm believer. Yes, I believe that. They're angels. There can be some crap dogs out there. I've heard of them crap eating dogs, and I've even come across a few in my life. But that's just a soul that is going to eventually be a human, and they got to realize that human don't taste so very good, which some people might beg to differ. Look at Ed Gein. Apparently, he liked the way tattoos taste. I don't know. I got a few tattoos. I don't want to get eaten. But anyways, this stuff is disgusting. So this video, I wanted to talk about do not be afraid to die. I am alive right now talking in this video. But as my body experiences time, I know this body decays. It ages. We all do. Yeah, I got everybody has their own path. It's so complex that to break it all down, that's why I'm writing my book series called The Soul Story. I've started on 3 books, actually. I think the first book is called The 13th Remains Unknown, because there are 12 people, but there is a 13th that nobody hardly ever talks about. And that one is the one that leads the 12, that guides the 12. But for some reason, nobody ever talks about the 13th. And then the second one is called The Reason. And The third one, oh, I can't remember what it's called right now. I wish I had it sitting here. Matter of fact, hold on. I'll tell you. All right. Watch out, dog. Okay, so the series is called A Soul Story. And then the first book is the 13th Remains Anonymous. And the second book is called The Reason. And the third book is called The Introduction. But that's the book series that I'm writing. How long it will take, I have no idea. I wish it would come a lot quicker, but there's always been, I've been doing a lot of research, and there's always, throughout the history of Earth, sometimes when bad things have happened, there's been a group of 12 that come show how to rebuild, that teach who is left how to rebuild. And the reason the 13th never gets talked about is because the 13th is unknown. That 13th remains anonymous because the 13th is not in a physical form. That 13th is God. But when I had my experience, it taught me a lot about God. And I seen a video on TikTok the other day. It was a kid, and he was after taking psychedelics or something, and the video was like, kid gets locked up in a mental institution after taking psychedelics. And I watched the video, and the kid talked about how God is everywhere. God is in everything. Well, I said the exact same thing after my experience. God is in everything. He's here. He's in the air. He's in everything. You got to think that everything, nothing is solid. Everything vibrates. Nikola Tesla. If you want to understand the universe, think of everything as vibration, energy, and vibration, energy, and oh my Lord, why do I keep forgetting that? Energy, vibration, and frequency. Okay, so I know that this is solid right here. Yeah, I know that this is solid. When I touch it, you push against it and it repulses you, or however you say it. But inside this is all molecules, electrons, neutrons, whatever, in a constant state of motion. Nothing is ever at rest. Everything moves, everything vibrates. Science will disagree with me. Religion will disagree with me. I don't care if you disagree with me. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to just tell my experience, the way I experienced it, and the way I viewed things, the way things were open to my mind, that I never have I ever heard of this before until my experience, and it was just all downloaded into me. And then I thought I was crazy. And then the more and more research that I'm doing, I'm finding out maybe I'm not so freaking crazy. But all these atoms, molecules, particles are alive. People will want to disagree with me and say that they're not conscious. The same way your body airplane is in autopilot mode, so sometimes some of these molecules and atoms are unconscious and in autopilot mode. Sometimes it takes for a soul to go inside them and take them off of autopilot mode for them to awaken and gain consciousness of they are alive. But I believe everything is connected. Nothing is separate. Everything is one. Now, ever since my experience, I found out what I am. And when I I chain smoke, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. But I found out what I am. Hold on, I'll go. That question right there, was everything more solid? Everything was more connected. In the sense of the reason something became solid is because you created it. If you step in space, if I was to step in space and feel pressure, it's because I created resistance. If I was to step and then go down, it's because I created no resistance. Everything was more connected. So if something was fluid or solid, it's because you were creating it. You were creating everything there. But the reason I wanted to make this video is because, I haven't never watched any Jeff Mars podcasts with anybody else. And I've done a little bit of research here and there, but like as far as one person, what they've wrote or what they said, I don't dig into it too much, but I get an idea. And then that's why I found out what I am, and what I am as a channel. And when I had my experience, if you have watched my videos, I said that I had access to unlimited knowledge, but when I came back, there was a lot of stuff that was just cut off. It's because that wasn't for me to bring here. That wasn't for me. And I found out what that means. What that means is what I was able to remember and bring back with me was for me, who I am. But everything else that was cut off is how the channel works. Is when there is a soul here that asks me a specific question, the channel can be opened. I have the answer, but I don't know it until the question is asked. And it has to be the right time, because I've had people ask me questions and I tell them that I'm not allowed to tell you. I can't tell you the answer because you're not prepared for the answer. The answer is not ready to be released yet. And a lot of people, I have given them answers because the time for them to hear it was right. And I don't even know what it is until the question is asked. I have no idea. I do not know until you ask the question and it is released through me. Then I know. That's the only way I know. I can't explain it. People are not going to believe me. But you know what? That's okay. Yes, everything is energy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how this stuff works, because when I came outside this body and time was completely different, it didn't work how it works here. This live's been going on for 43 minutes and I could see the seconds counting. But when I could jump just like that between 1,000,000 years ago and 1,000,000 years from now into the future, what? How is this possible? How can everything, past, present, future, be existing at one time? And what was crazy was the reincarnation cycle with the Earths that I seen. And because I seen them picture 10 Earths, right? And then behind each one, there's an infinite line of them that is a direct copy of it. And the Earth next to it, something so small could change as that, the computer moving, and then an infinite line of them. And that was part of the reincarnation cycle. And every other me that is on these planets is in autopilot mode, because I know that I'm here. But I know that those earths play a part. They play a role in the reincarnation cycle. For when this body dies here, if I didn't learn what I was supposed to learn, if I didn't follow my journey, then autopilot body regains consciousness. But that veil gets pulled over you and you will never remember it. You will have to go back through that body through birth with that veil and not remember it. But there is a saying, if you die before you die, then you won't die when you die. I have a very strange feeling that because of this happened, that when I die this time, this body dies, I won't have to have that problem anymore. That's the whole reason I don't think that I'm going to come back here. That's the whole reason I was told that I'm not going to come back here. Is because it's graduation time. This life. Even though this life is still difficult, I still have to live it. And I keep thinking somehow I'm going to be rich or whatever. That's probably not for me. And I'm okay with that. If it's not for me, it's not for me. It's not about that. It's about my words. It's about these books that I'm going to write. When I'm gone, they will still be left here. My words will still be left. And it possibly could help somebody remember. It is cruel that we forget, but it serves a purpose. And the purpose is simple. It's very simple. It's remembrance. We're supposed to remember. We're supposed to find our way. We're supposed to remember and find our way back. But I got a couple books, new books. I mean, I've showed these two before. I've showed this one, the Hermetica, Lost Wisdom of the Pharaohs. I've showed this one before. Very interesting book. And I've showed this one before, the Kabbalion. Very interesting book, 3 Initiates. But I haven't showed these. And I got this one just because I was curious to see what it said. 12 Laws of the Universe. Very interesting book. But then this one is a newish one. The CIA Declassified Gateway Experience. If you know anything about the Monroe Institute, and the Gateway Experience and what that is, then you know it. And then the Akashic Records. I just got this one. And you know what's weird about the Akashic Records and what some people don't understand? Is there is at times the whole reason when I get these books, I cannot read them. And it's weird, and call me crazy. Don't believe me, and I'm okay with it. I kind of don't want to say it, but I can remember what's in these books, the words that's in them. It's weird. It's weird to explain, and it's crazy to explain, and it's crazy to even hear it. How do you think I feel saying this? Yes, to God. Because God is what is how it's allowed or not allowed. That's something that I've noticed too, that no one ever talks about. With a lot of people don't talk about with their near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences. A lot of people don't talk about God. Some people might call him all or a universal mind. I call him God because that's what I recognized. That's and that's who he introduced himself to me as. He never moved his mouth, but he spoke directly to me. and said, I am God, the creator of all creation that ever was, is, and will be. And when I speak about gods, and even in the Hermetica, when I was reading the Hermetica one time, it says, do you believe in multiple gods? That's absurd or something. And then you read a little bit more in the Hermetica, and it speaks about different gods. But there's a reason for that. God is the one that connects everything, the creator of everything, the one that allows or don't allow. But there are different gods in the sense of they're gods in their own way. But everything is below the one true God that he's the final say-so, right? Everything that is allowed or not allowed is God's will. And yeah. Praying to God is like calling our souls back to remember we are still one with it. That comment just gave me chill bumps. That's what I was going to say about these books. All these books, the reason I can't read them is because if you believe in the Akashic records, that everything outside is stored, every thought, every memory, everything that has ever been done or will be done is stored there. You can have access to it if it is God's will, if you remember God and allow him to live through you, live in you and live through you and create through you. The whole reason I cannot read these books is because not only can I remember the words, but it's almost as I can remember writing them. I can remember speaking the words. It's weird, and sometimes I don't want to say that because I know there's going to be people who say that's the devil or whatever. You know what? I've even said this in my other videos. Because in my experience, I was shown what to do even if I come face to face with the devil. Because I don't believe in just one devil. I believe there are many devils. There are angels and demons. There is one God that is everything. He is everything. But there are many devils in different forms. Some people believe in extraterrestrial species. And when I say that biblical angels and demons are connected, like to extraterrestrials, people are going to say, you can't connect science with religion. How do people still? Well, it's their journey, but nothing is separate. So it doesn't matter if you practice religion or science. You practice science in this life, you could have practiced religion in a past life or will in a future life. That's what I'm trying to say. Whatever you are now, you could have been completely different. If you're a male, you could have been a female in a past life or still have to be a female to learn the experience. That's what I'm trying to bring to people's awareness, is that even what you hate, you could have already been what you hate or will be what you hate. Why? Because you need to experience it. You need to experience it. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve. To be a higher being, to be a higher state of consciousness, you have to move past the petty crap. You hate old dude because he's black. You hate old dude because he's white. You hate old girl because she's a female. You hate this dude because he's a male. You don't like this person because they're religious. You don't like that person because they're non-religious. This person prays God and that person prays to Satan or don't even believe in God. Blah, blah, blah. This person's poor and a crackhead smoking crack rock. This person's rich and driving a Ferrari down the boulevard where there's homeless people on the sides. Look, I understand. But everyone has their role to play. Every life plays a part in the grand design. Everything is planned perfect. As horrible as some people's lives might be, it's a reason for it. What that reason is, I can't say that. I can't say what that reason is. But there's a purpose. Yeah, we need to love each other. And the only way that, I know if you pay attention to anything on the news, because I've heard, I don't necessarily go looking and dig into this stuff, but I've heard, all the things that's going on in the world right now. But behind all of it is still division. The reason that all these bad things are happening is because there's still division between people. Matter of fact, I just heard a song today that's go work, go woke, or go broke, some crap like that. And yes, everything that is allowed, everything that is allowed or will be allowed is governed. So even laws of the universe, it's all controlled, planned, perfect. Everything. And this Go Woke or Go Broke, and it was like a remix talking about F Disney, F Netflix, F Joe Biden, blah, 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 blah. And trying to get the song to go viral, which it probably will go viral. It probably will. But the bad things that's happening on this planet are still going to happen. Until all of us, I don't know, it could happen a couple different ways that I noticed. The more logical way is through evolution, through life, death, and rebirth, that it will keep on happening over and over and over again until people connect together and start working together and love each other more. And instead of saying that crackhead over there doesn't deserve a good life and I do because of the things that I've been through, put yourself in their shoes and say, we should help them. I understand that people can't help somebody unless they want to be helped. I understand that. But you got to look at what kind of help they need. You can't just give somebody a house and home or money and expect that to help them in a way. You got to open yourself up and think, what would really help that person? Would that be a help to them, or would that be a hindrance to them later on? You got to plan for the future, because if you only plan for right now or even 5 minutes from now, things might not work out in 10 minutes. They might work out in that 5 minutes, but plan years, decades, centuries ahead. That way, if you plan now and take action now, it will continue to work from now up until whenever. But everybody needs to help people a little bit more. I wish I could. And I do with my words. And that's all I have for now. That's all I have for now is just words and to be here for people. That's all that I can offer right now. And I feel like I should be doing more. And I'm trying. But I wanted to say one of the most terrifying things that I seen during my experience that scared me so bad that I was terrified to look at the sky was a massive asteroid that was coming right for Earth. And the ancient cultures, did you hear that? It sounded like something just ran across my floor. That was crazy. Anyways, I have no idea. I have no idea what that was. Yes, to share. I wanted to build a church. Yeah, that song was horrible. Yes. Uh, accept all and find gratitude for it all. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I know that I've done a lot of bad things in my life, and I've had a lot of bad things happen to me. But now, everything that I've had bad happen to me, I'm able to look back on and say thank you to God. I tell God thank you. Even as horrible or traumatic as they may be mentally and physically, the scars emotionally and the scars physically, I'm able to look back on them and say thank you. I'm grateful for that opportunity, because if I didn't go through that, it wouldn't have made me who I am today. So, yeah, churches can become cults. And that's why now I was told this is a bad idea and I haven't done this. But I wanted to go to a bunch of different churches. But and I understand the shootings, the mass shootings and everything that's happened, those are a very big problem. And I'm in Texas. So if I did go in a damn church with a mask on because I didn't want people to see my face, immediately I'm going to get judged as being, what are you doing in a church with a mask on? The only people that wear masks these days are shooters or whatever. Trust me, I understand that. But I'm trying to find the people who look past the mask. I mean, it's hard to understand, and I understand the day and age that we're in. I understand that. But I'm trying to find the ones who are open to more than, you're more than just physical. I'm more than just a mask. I'm more than just a body with blood, guts, and organs, and skin, bone. We are more than that. That's who I'm trying to find. Would I find them in the churches around here? I have no idea. If energy is connected to everything, God connects everything, I never know until I'm in the presence. Because how I told this to another person. I can't remember who I was speaking to, but I was talking about how I needed to feel this person. They wanted, I can't remember what it was, but I needed to feel them. And some people can do it. I know there are people, channelers, and the thing you do with the tarot cards, readings and stuff, there's people that do that through electronics. Well, they might can. But me personally, there is a lot of energy and vibration, some of it very negative, that comes from electronics, that is in electronics. And for me to feel you, I need to be in person to feel your energy in person. Because if I feel you through an electronic device, it might not be firmly you that I'm feeling. Because in a sense, yeah, we all are separate. I'm separate from you, you're separate from me. But in the bigger picture, we all are connected. But how you feel inside might not be who you're projecting to be. You see what I'm saying? Like the skeletons in the closet thing. People might go to church and they might pray, but then when they go home, they might stick a needle in their arm and get high and beat their wife. You're not who you project to be. I need to know who you are. If I'm going to try to help you, then I need to know you, because I am willing to put everything that I've done out on the line. I know that there's nothing that's hidden. All the things that I have kept inside, that I have done in my past, very bad things, Dog, you farted, man. Why did you do that? Good gosh. You stink. What did you eat? Ah, dang. Whew. Your stomach's over there bubbling. Please do not, man. Look, light a candle, dog. My dog farted. Man. I wasn't going to smoke another cigarette. Now I got to get that smell out of my nostrils. Good Lord. Stanky creature. Yeah, Taliban. Yeah, I've got that before. And I wanted to build a church, but not in the sense of like a building. More or less just land is what I wanted, just to be outside in nature. Because I feel like when you go into a church and you close the doors, you close yourself off to nature. And I believe that God is in everything, and especially in nature, because that is part of his divine creation, was nature, was the earth. So be closer to nature. And, it will bring you closer to that spirituality that is in everything. But when you go in this church and you lock up all these, because people might not believe it, but I believe in demons and angels. But I believe in possession in a sense that there's a lot of things that I believe that sound crazy. There's a lot of things that I believe that just sound crazy. What if a demon soul was inside of a person but didn't realize they was a demon until they had a spiritual experience? Could that be possible? Because I believe that nothing is impossible. I believe that through God, everything is possible. Nothing is impossible through God. So what if you're in here with a person that thinks they're an angel, but it's a demon in disguise? I mean, how does the wolf sneak up on the herd, the flock of sheep? They dress in a sheep's clothing, right? I'm just saying. There's a lot of things that I believe in that not a lot of people believe in. And that's okay. People don't have to believe me. They don't have to follow me. I'm not trying to, from the get-go. Yeah, I'm trying to get followers on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook. But I'm trying to get them to listen to what I'm saying. And not in the sense of just listen to what I'm saying. I'm trying to get everyone closer to the divine. I'm trying to get everyone to understand that in the same way, the same experience that I had, the same voice that I hear, everyone else can too. Everyone else can let God control your life and live through you so you can have the best of the best. Because believe it or not, there is a reality in a dimension where everything is perfect. There also is a reality in a dimension where everything is horribly fucked. Why? Because the experience of both of them. But if everything is created and you create everything through God's will, can it be possible that you will not experience the perfectly divine for eternity? It's completely plausible to me. It's completely plausible. Yeah, just be on earth, the best church. That's what I'm saying. And there's a lot of people that are lost. Yeah. Yeah, walk with the balance between divine and earth. Yeah. And you know something I want to say about that reptilian, I call them lizard pricks. If you watch my other videos, that's what I've called them since day one, was a lizard prick. Now I have if you watch my book, the books that I have collection, or the books that I collect, I have one called the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac or something like that, where it's from MUFON, a Mutual UFO Network, where they describe the different species of extraterrestrials and aliens that they know about. You know, that's not all of them. That's just what they know about so far. They have a lot of different reptilian species, and a lot of them look like some form of humanoid lizard. But that's what I saw standing in that doorway. Looked like a humanoid lizard. But it wasn't in physical form. It was projected consciousness. They have evolved to the point to where they can be in physical form, because they are. But if you know anything about the gateway experience and how the gateway experience works, this is... See, I just realized that connection and didn't even realize the connection there. The gateway experience is projected consciousness. You can be here physically in one room and project your consciousness somewhere else and view what's going on. Remote viewing. You know what I mean? That's how that reptilian lizard... Not reptilian. That lizard prick operated. He wasn't here in physical form. He was here in projected consciousness. And what they do is they are so negative that they feed on... Your soul is pure positive power. They feed off of it. I don't know necessarily if it's... They do feed off of it in a sense of they need you. They need you because they plant a seed in your brain that you think is your thought. And if you water that seed, then you start to create reality in their image. So you've then created a reality that is not yours, that they created for you. And usually it's something that benefits them and not you. So they try to manipulate you. And people might say that as a demon. Well, if everything's connected, then how can't they be similar to the same thing? You see what I'm saying? They're similar to the same thing as if a demon would want to take your body and create a reality in its image and feed off of you, is the same thing they were doing. The same thing that lizard thing was doing, that lizard prick. But if I was never in that altered state of consciousness, I would have never have seen him. He had his hands pointed out to me and was pushing this frequency, this energy into me and trying to get me to live as a puppeteer, as a puppet. And he could create havoc. But I realized I could see him. And I realized through God was letting me know what he was doing. And at that moment, I told him it's not going to work. But I realized something since then about guardian angels and guardian demons. Not a guardian demon, but just demons in general. People call them guardian angels because they're always with you, right? As a guardian angel. And I call them, I said guardian demon, but they're always with you. There will be one, if not multiple. I've seen two so far, that they come and go. It's like they test the electrified fence, you know what I'm saying? Well, this corner shocked me, but maybe this corner won't. They tempt you every so often. They tempt you, trying to test the waters to see if the ground is right to plant the seed to work. They never leave. They'll always be there. Good and evil have their roles. They have their roles to play. Believe it or not. People might say, well, how can that be? For there to be good, there has to be bad. For there to be bad, there has to be good. It's because of the experience itself. In this realm, in this dimension, this thing that we're in, until there is a certain spiritual evolution of things to where you no longer view things as good or bad, you understand that the bad things that you went through are good too. Because to be who you are and learn from the experiences, you had to go through them. They had to happen. So that asteroid that I seen that I was so terrified of, you know how I moved through it? How I got past it? I eventually stood there and smiled and watched it hit me. And was crying while it happened, saying, thank you. Thank you for this experience. Thank you for letting me get destroyed to build me. I'm grateful for every experience. I no longer view anything as negative. Even if it is bad, I don't view it as such anymore. I view it as it's planned perfect. It's perfect. Because I wouldn't learn, I wouldn't grow, I wouldn't evolve if I didn't have that experience. If I didn't go through this, I wouldn't learn. I wouldn't know how to get back up if I was never knocked down and beat. If I never got tripped and knocked down and was beat senseless, I would have never learned how to stand back up and fight back. It had to be. But because I know that I'm alive and I'm dying and I'm eventually, this body's dead, I know that death is an illusion. I got ringing in my ear. That then happens. That doesn't happen all the time, this ringing. Sometimes it might happen in this ear, sometimes it might happen in this ear. But I associate that ringing with death for some reason. And when it first happened, it scared me so bad. And it moved my head. But it scared me so bad because I immediately, that was the first time I associated that ringing with death. It scared me so bad that I got up and I started walking around and I was beginning to have a panic attack. But I know now that even if I was fixing to die, I felt I'm fixing to die. I'm going to miss you. But it's okay. Even if I died right now, and in some reality, you watching this computer screen on another earth, me talking right now, it could be this one. I hope not, because I still have stuff to say. But somewhere out there, there is one where I do die. Live, right now. But I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with that. And I'm going to miss everybody. But I know nothing is... You can create it permanently to where you continuously die. But if you realize that you are the creator, then you can create where you permanently live. Which is why I'm saying that I know I'm alive, and I know that I'm dying, and I know that I am dead. Therefore, in the sense of things, since I'm already dead, I am always living. I will always be alive. I will never die. I am eternal. I am eternal. Because God is allowing me. Because I know that God is in control. And if God is in control and He created me in His image, then I can create letting God live through me. That's how it operates. It's so simple. And the whole reason that I'm writing, and the whole reason that I had my experience from day one when I wrote my first posts, because when I had my experience, I posted, I think, 3 different writings on Facebook. And they were very confusing. But at the same time, there was something that I said on one of these videos about certain people when they talk or give speeches that they use words that I have to pause the video, get a dictionary, and look the word up and find out the meaning of it, right? Well, I'm not super uneducated, but I am, okay? I dropped out in the 9th grade. I was supposed to have already graduated, but if you watch my videos, I failed the 8th grade 3 times on purpose to piss my dad off. I shouldn't have done it, but I did. They eventually passed me and a friend of mine that done the same thing. They passed us to high school because we were too old to be in middle school anymore. And then I failed the 9th grade twice. And on my 2nd or 3rd year repeating the 9th grade, I eventually dropped out of high school. But I got my high school diploma through Job Corps in McKinney, along with security trade that I worked at Love Field Airport for, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks at Gate 13 Alpha, the one that was ran through it was on the news several years back when that person in a red truck ran through the gate and drove all around the airport. I worked at that same gate, but after that happened. And then I got into the graveyard shift, working apartment complexes in Dallas, in the hood, in the ghetto. And I carried a firearm, pepper spray, baton, handcuffs, all that stuff. But I was security. And what I did is these apartment complexes have rules and regulations. You can't be out past a certain time. You can't be disturbing your neighbors, stuff like that. So when somebody would be having a loud party, they would call the security, and the security would call me and tell me what apartment to go to, and I would go give them a warning. Hey, man, turn your music down. If I have to come back out here, I got to write you up. Similar to a ticket. But what would happen is if I did have to write you up, I wrote it on my report, a ticket report, and then I put it in a mailbox for the manager. And what they would whatever you did to violate their rules, they would put it to go on your rent. They would charge you so much to go on your rent. Like if you had loud music up, it was $50. So they add $50 on your rent. If you was out past curfew, it was $20 and it would go on your rent bill, whatever. And at the same time, I wasn't one of these asshole security guards where, you violate the rules, that's it, bucko. I wasn't one of them. I was like, man, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. As long as I don't have to get called out here and a bunch of bullshit, man, do you. How would I feel if I was at my house? Yeah, I know I signed the lease and I agreed to all these rules and regulations, but how would I feel if I was having a bad time or I just got through arguing with somebody in my house and I came outside to smoke a cigarette and some security guard come up to my house saying, hey, man, you need to go to the fucking house. Don't you know it's past curfew? That would really boil me over. You don't know what people are going through. I don't know what they've been through. I don't know if they was just arguing or they just lost somebody just died or got killed, and they come out here to try to vent themselves and get some fresh air. I don't know what they're going through. So I'm going to let them do them, man. And that's something people need to do a lot more of. It doesn't matter if that person is gay. It doesn't matter if they're straight. It doesn't matter what color they are. Love them regardless, man. Just be there for them. Just care for each other. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Just care for them and be there for them. And if somebody is lost, don't go preaching at them. Don't go preaching at them and trying to force them to believe it. Because if you were a young rebellious kid and somebody told you, don't go do this, what did a lot of us do when we were told by mom and dad, don't go do that? As soon as we got away from them, we went right out and did it. People have to make their mistakes. People are still going to make dangerous and deadly mistakes. That is going to happen as long as people are where they are in evolution. It's still going to happen. People are still going to die. It just has to be right now. Eventually it won't be. Give it enough time, it won't be. But it has to happen. But how we view it has to change. It has to, because that's how you grow. But you will find it in your own time. Everybody will find me in their own time, and everybody will find their way in their own time. Everything is planned perfect. Yeah, we have light sides and dark sides, that's for sure. Yeah, God was created by, the devil was created by God. I was showed everything that has a soul was created by God. Even the devil has a soul. Believe it or not. That's what I believe, because I believe that. I've shown that even devils have souls, but they are so lost and so miserable that when I come face to face with the devil, instead of saying, "Get behind me, Satan, you don't deserve to be here," I am supposed to look the devil in the eyes, walk up to him, and tell him, "You know what? You can't hurt me. And I want you to know that I love you." And I'm supposed to walk up and give him a hug. And I'm supposed to tell him, it's time for you to go back home and remember God. It's time for you to leave and go back home and feel loved again, because you have known nothing but hate for so long. It's time for you to remember that you are loved. Even still, you are still loved. What? That question, what would happen if we prayed for the darkness, sending love and light? It would depend on them. It would depend on what the soul felt and where they took it in a direction, because everything has free will. You have free will to believe what you want to believe or not, don't believe it. You have free will to go left or go right. Well, the same thing for everyone else. The same thing the reptilians do. They don't give a damn about free will, right? That's the whole reason that they plant the seed. But you still have the free will to put it into effect or to leave it alone. You still have the free will to use. They just don't care about it. That's why they influence you. That's the whole reason that God does not interfere with your free will. And you do have this veil, and you are supposed to find your way home, because he will not interfere with your free will. He created you with it to use it, to remember who you are and how powerful you are. So if you pray for somebody, at the end of the day, your prayer does work. It does work. And it doesn't work. How could that be? How could it work and not work? It's because God hears you. The negatives and positives hear you. And your energy shifts, depends on you, what you're praying for, how you're praying, and what you're receiving. But depending on what you're praying for, it depends on them. If your prayer goes to them, and that seed, that positivity or negativity that they're receiving, if they act on it, everything has a cause and effect. For every action, there is a reaction. For every reaction, there is an action that caused it. So everything that you try to do good, it will get received to you if you do it. But everything has free will. So even if you do something, try to do something good for somebody, like me, when I was using drugs, and I went to rehabs, and I had several people want me to stop using drugs. But it didn't matter what anyone did until I actually wanted to get sober. I didn't. So at the end of the day, that's the simplest breakdown of, if you pray for somebody in a positive way or negative way, you will get, You put out what you put out, and you will receive what you put out, because that's what you're putting out. What you put out is what you will receive. But for them, it's just a seed. If they never take action, they never water it, it never grows. If they do take action on it and water it, then it grows. So prayer does work in the sense if they create it to work. You see what I'm saying? The same thing that Jesus was saying. If you believe in God, you too can walk on water. You too. I've seen people flying. I want to fly so bad. You know how bad I want to fly? I want to fly so bad. But you know, a big thing about my experience is that we are not allowed to, the people that, certain spirits or souls that have had these things happen, we've all been told the same thing, whether people remember it or not. But when you come back to this body and you're in a reality that these things do not exist yet, they're not, you know, we have two words, possible and impossible. Well, through God, nothing is impossible. That's what I believe. But because somebody else here with free will believes it to be impossible, I am not allowed to alter their reality. Souls or spirits that come back here that understand this, you're not allowed to alter people's free will. You cannot alter their reality. So if someone believes something to be impossible, you are not allowed to do it. And it's not only humans. When I was talking about the atoms and molecules and them becoming consciously aware, if they're conscious and to them it's impossible, even if you're in a room completely shut off, everything is connected. So if something in here, though, that is consciously aware that it's conscious, I had some spittle, and you did something that disagrees with their laws of the universe, you're violating their free will. You cannot do that. You can't do that. Yes, we can. Yeah, that's it. Because I have a lot of people that reach out to me about the negative things. I remember flying since I was a kid. And you know, I remember the feeling. I remember the feeling of running and just all of a sudden like a force lifting me up. But when I would get up, I would always fall. I would always fall back down, because when I would fly, I would be like, how is this possible? This is impossible. And when that thought would enter me, I would fall and I would try it again. I would run and I would fly and then I would fall back down. But it was never controlled. It was all I didn't have any control over it. It's almost as I was being lifted up, weightless, like gravity was pushing me up instead of pulling me down. And it's because gravity only operates here because it has been perceived that way for so long. There's other things that enter Earth and come and go that some people can't even see. You know, when some people see UFOs, what if I was to say that they're always around, but because your frequency and vibration that you were putting out into the universe, you were not aware of them. The same reason that night that I seen that lizard prick, and I seen all them little grays out in my front yard and all the way down the street coming out of this. It was a shard of glass, or it looked like glass, that was needle thin and about 6 inches to a foot off the ground, and it was slightly angled, and it was very slowly rotating, and it looked like there was a rainbow, like when, you know, light passes through a glass or whatever and it has that rainbow effect. That's what it looked like in that shard. These little gray aliens with some kind of uniforms were coming out of that shard, and their mouths weren't moving either, but they were speaking to each other. And I heard one of them say, they looked right at me and said, "Oh, he can see us." And they went back into that shard. But wherever they was going, it's almost like they were telling other ones, because there was more coming out. There would be 1 or 2 or 3 come out, and they would look directly at me and be like, oh, he can see us. And they would go back into that shard. And I seen a lot of the little grays. But I had mixed emotions about the feelings of them. You know, some people say they're friendly. Some people say they're not friendly. Those, I had got the impression that they were like a befriending type thing. They smile in your face and wave at you, but when you turn your back, they're trying to get something from you. Your DNA, your blood, semen, brain cells, spinal fluid. They try to get things from you because there could be possibly somewhere where some people say we were created to be a slave race here on Earth by the Anunnaki, that we were created to mine gold for their atmosphere because their atmosphere was running low on some kind of gold particles, and that we were created with their DNA to mine gold to help them. Well, okay, let's just say that was true, because I believe it is. It's weird how my mind works. I believe it is true, but in the sense that it was allowed. It was allowed to happen, right? Some people say that we evolved to where we are. Don't you get it? That you created what you believe in and what you project into reality, what you can see, touch, feel, smell, hear, all this, you take it in, and then it's reflected on and projected. You are projecting a reflection of everything that you believe or don't believe in. So when I say yes, I do believe in that, but no, I believe in that, because there is a place where that is real and really did happen. And then there's other places where it did not happen that way. But through life, death, afterlife, and rebirth, you learn that there is more than what any human can ever believe is possible. There's things that people have no idea about what they will see. And give it time. I know how time operated. When I seen how time operated, that everything past, present, future was there. There was so much. The future cities that look like something out of a sci-fi movie, with buildings with plants on them and stuff like that. That was one. Also different buildings where they were just like a mirror, a reflective. It had something to do that type of reflection that was on these buildings absorbed energy from the sun and from the moon to help power them. Some of these Earths were completely, they didn't have power plants like we do here. They were powered from energy and everything. The levitation, look at Buddhism. Monks, they're firm belief. You know, there's something about, I believe, past lives and future lives and current lives. I seen a past life where I was a little girl and I was raped and murdered. I seen one past life where I was a maybe early 20s and I was a male who was burned in iron bull. Now, that little girl was murdered in that dream, but it was a futuristic city. But I was in an alley and it was raining. And I was a little girl, probably 8, 12 years old, something like that, in a dress, a blue and white dress, I want to say. And I was raped and strangled to death by one of these. One of the guys was raping me and strangling me at the same time. But I had to go through that because that was a past life. I had to remember how traumatic it was and how to overcome it. I had to grow from it because those were two deaths that I never could get past. That's the whole reason that when I had my experience, I remembered them and went back to them, is because I never got over those deaths. And that's the whole reason that I had this experience here and shifted my soul into a different dimension with a different body of me and had a brain aneurysm because I was so fucking terrified to die. Because these past lives were traumatic. I mean, being raped and strangled to death and then being burned in an iron bull, that was pretty fucking traumatic deaths. And I couldn't move past them. And it wasn't until I went in this body and had a brain aneurysm in a body, and that body died, completely died. I died. It was buried. I got to watch that body be buried. It was me, just like me, but it was buried. And then the whole crazy thing about that is that earth, it was a mirrored earth. So everything that was happening here was happening there until that event. When that event happened, that earth completely imploded. And then a new reality popped up next to it in an infinite state where I was dead. Where I was dead, a new reality was created. For there to be growth and recreation, there has to be destruction. Hold on. Oh, let me read something. Hold on, I can't remember what book it's in. It might be in Hermetica. You know, if you read this book, Hermetica, you know, if you get to the back of it, it says that once you learn this, you're not supposed to speak about it. You're not supposed to say about it. But I found out why that is and why it says that. Because there's some people that don't want other people to know. But I do not care what other people want or don't want. I'm not here to cater to that. I'm here to relay a specific message that everybody needs to start just living and let God live through them. Remember God. Remember God. Get close to God, because there are going to be horrible things that happen still. But they're only happening because there are other people in this reality. And people are seeing and hearing these and getting a seed planted, and they're creating it. So remember God and remember love, and eventually you will move to a place to where there is nothing but love and light. You can create it. All these bad things that are happening are being created for a reason. But anyways, I think it's in the Hermetica. I'm not sure. But it says, if you build a house, if you build something, and it's built on sand, the house will crumble because the foundation was not firm, right? Or this is from The Chosen. I've been watching The Chosen. I fell in love with The Chosen. That's a pretty good one. I like it. I watched all of them. I can't wait for season 4. I think it's season 4. I can't wait for season 4 to come out, because I've binge watched it, and I've watched it 2 or 3 times since then. Very, very good. I love it. Yes. You know, that's something funny you said about the shift, because you know, I've seen all these different realities and different dimensions, but they were all different. Well, I believe you can create reality, right? You create it. I had the weirdest thought pop into my head when that happened. And I made a video of it, and I think I posted it on TikTok. It might be on YouTube too. I'm in a red shirt. But I said, I feel like all these universes and realities are merging into one. I would be okay with that. I would be okay with creating that. If I could only bring the good ones, because there's some weird stuff out there. All right, there's some very weird stuff in these other realities and other dimensions. Some very things that do not make sense here. Things that the human mind and human psyche is not physically able to even comprehend yet. It's just not. We're not evolved. Human body and brain and nervous system is not evolved yet enough to even recognize these things. That's the reason that it isn't here yet, because it's hard to explain some of this. It's hard to explain something that it is almost unexplainable in a way. It's almost unexplainable because humans do not have a way to explain something that we know nothing about. How do you explain the unknown? Well, it's unknown. I don't know. It's unknown. How am I supposed to explain it then? Well, I'm trying. But there are just things that until we experience it, until we can understand it, it will not be. It will not happen. It will not exist until you can understand it and say, this is. I am. That's the only way it will be. But I had a feeling that these are merging in specific parts of them. But the bad things, I don't want them to happen. But I understand that why they happen. Hold on. Let's see the movie, Everything Everywhere. I'll look it up. Yeah, and it's weird how it works because, like I say, it's what you create. So these timelines that are merging in realities, the people that are experiencing the bad things, is some people might say I'm wrong for saying this, but somebody is creating that. The person that is experiencing that is subconsciously, they're creating that to experience it, to learn from it. Learn what? That's for them to find out. That's for the soul experiencing it. I cannot tell a person what their future is. You know, you have people out there who are these people that say, well, or do the tarot cards and stuff. And I'm not saying that's not real, because like I say, I will never tell you, anyone that says anything to me, even if it contradicts everything that I say, I will never tell a person they are wrong, that what they believe in is wrong. Anything. I will never say that. I will always say that exactly what you believe in, even if it's completely different than me, you are right. You are right. You were never wrong. You were never wrong. There's that ringing again. Is because that I believe that. I believe that what you believe in is your path. What you believe in is your way to go. Your way to remembrance. Your way to deliverance. That's what I believe. So everybody has a path. Even if it's in the complete opposite direction that you're going, that path is perfect for them. It might be hard and difficult to understand that, even if they're going in a different direction. But you know, that's like, I was telling my mom about the Golden Brick Road. And the Golden Brick Road was my right path that I'm supposed to follow here. And then all these other paths are gray. Those are possible outcomes. but those are the wrong paths. But regardless, this golden brick road did not have footprints on it. It did not have footprints on it, but all these other ones did. And how I explained it is like I walked out to the edge of the wood line, and there was a frozen lake with snow all over it. And I could see the edge of the wood line all the way around in a circle. And I walked out to the middle of the lake, and there was no other footprints. And then as I'm standing in the middle of this lake, I looked back behind me and seen my footprints walking to where I was. And then all of a sudden, in every direction, every inch of snow was covered in my footprints going in every direction. Back from where I came from, in every direction there was footprints. But only one path from there was my right path to follow. All the rest of them, they're possible outcomes, possible futures, possible timelines that could still happen if I get off this path. But this path that I'm on is my path. It's what I am supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to be following here, the right path for now. But all these other ones will, or have happened, are happening, and will happen somewhere else. But this path is for now. Those are not this time, this dimension, this reality. Those are not yet for here. But eventually, or possibly the past, they have been the right path. But that's how I kind of explained it. Is you will be everything. Everything that you can imagine, you will be. You are creating it. So the whole point of this live is do not fear death. Because I am alive, but I am dead. I know I'm dead, but I'm alive. How is that possible? Because I know what death means. Death is just an experience. It's part of it. But I know that everything that has been done in the past up till now is in me. And all around me. All I have to do is bring it into reality. Sometimes it's hard though. Like this money thing that I cannot figure out. I went back to framing. Because that's what I've done for, a long time, was build houses. Because to me, that was a man job, building houses. That was the hardest job I've ever had, and I loved it. I loved the toughness of it. But a few years ago, I had a heat stroke. Had myself a heat stroke. And I was out of work for about 2 months, and my old boss stopped by the house one day and said, "Hey man, you want to come back to work?" And I said, "Hell yeah, I'll be there Monday." Started me off at what I was making when I left was $18 an hour. Which ain't good money, but it ain't horrible money. And I went back to work after being in the house for 2 months and then going back out in this triple-digit heat in Texas. It destroyed me, so I had to quit. I told him, you know what, when it cools down, I'll come back to work. And that's the good thing about this type of stuff. I can do that. I've been fired multiple times. I have quit multiple times. But I have always know that job is there. He'll fire me, and he'll make me wait a week or two at the house and be like, "You ready to come back to work now?" "Yeah, I'm ready. I'll behave this time. I'll be good." I have so many. Hold on. Let me try to get everything. Yes, we are bringing we are bringing ones to finally see it as a collective. But like I said, free will. Some it's going to take longer than others because I know that there are young souls and that there are old souls, and I know that I am a very old soul because if you watch my Jeff Mars podcast, I said that the first I remember seeing a dinosaur, a long necked dinosaur, and I was standing beside this dinosaur on the right side with my hand on its rear hip. But I know now why I seen that and why that played a big part of it is because that was the first physical body that I became consciously aware that I am alive in. That was the first life that I became consciously aware that I was alive and a living thing and remembered God. Believe it or not, if all souls are connected, then that means even animals can remember God. Even insects, even everything can remember God once it becomes consciously aware that it's alive and that it was created to serve a purpose, to serve a function, has a function, a purpose, a life. But that was the first life I became consciously aware in. And I know now that my soul that is in this body's 32 years old, fixing to be 33 in November. But I know that my soul has been around for hundreds of millions of years. Ancient. You know, I feel it sometimes in my back. I feel it sometimes. I'll read it. You know, I have so many books that I still have to get. So many. I have probably close to 400 in my Amazon cart. And then I have screenshotted from TikTok, from YouTube, from different things, books that resonate with me, that I'm being drawn to. All these books that I have. It's not that I just wanted to get I have to get this book. No, I'm collecting these books for a reason. I'm being told to collect these books. I'm being told to collect these books. I don't know yet. But yeah, I do know. It's because everything that I have said or will say is in these books. That's why I'm collecting these books. I'll check it out though. Illusions by Richard. How you say it? Batch. I'll look them up. Might have books of his saved. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, old soul and body. I know some. Actually, my ex. I think I'm almost 100% positive that she is a very young soul. I'm almost 100% positive of that. And my mom. And as crazy as that sounds to people, how can one be older than the one you were birthed from? Well, it's not in that sense. The body might not be, but spiritually, time does not exist. Past, present, and future are all in God and work through God. God works through it all, creates through it all. He lives in it all. But a lot of people don't remember that because it's not their path, not their time, they haven't reached their destination yet. That's something that I've realized when I had my experience. Man, I was trying to get a hold of I think Trump was still president. No, Biden was, I think. I was trying to get a hold of Biden, Putin, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, what's the dude, North Korean dictator dude, Kim Jong-un or whatever. I was trying to get a hold of all these people. And if I would have had their email or direct phone numbers, you best believe hey, I got something to tell you. Because there's certain people here that are doing things that it's dangerous. People are dabbling in stuff that are very dangerous, not just for them, but for the earth itself. They're hurting the earth and they need to stop. But I understand that if it is to happen, if the earth is destroyed tomorrow, that it is supposed to happen. And I have seen it happen. And I made peace with it. So now I just live. I live. I'm alive. And I'm just following this path. And really it's like I say, I'm living and letting everything be built for me, pretty much. I'm creating it to live it. But it's all God's will. It's all God's will. You're not an orphan. You're loved. I love you. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible the how the government and everything does, and all these different agendas. Now I have a person that's in Australia that I talk to on the regular, actually, and she's if you know, because I don't know any myself, but she's looking for a clairvoyant. So if you know of any really good ones, let me know so I can let her know. Because she has some questions that, like I say, I could answer questions. I can answer questions, but only if the time is right. Even if you are the right soul, if it's not time for you to hear the answer, then I can't tell you anything. I can only tell a soul what they need to hear when they need to hear it. And they have to ask specific questions. It can't just be a question that can cover a wide variety of things. Nah, it doesn't work like that. It has to be very, very specific. And that very, very specific question, you could be the right soul, but if the time is not right, then I cannot release anything to you. And because I am not allowed to release anything to you, I'm not allowed to know either. So that's how that works. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I could be wrong, but I think Biden has some kind of mental illness. Like, I'm not trying to be funny or mean or cruel, nothing like that, but I think he has some kind of mental disorder. Now, I could be wrong, but just by watching the dude and things that he does, and maybe it could be coming from influences around him. You better not fart. She stretched. Usually when them dogs stretch, they fart. But I think, I don't know, something wrong. Well, maybe something wrong with them. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. But what time is it, yo? Oh my Lord! It's 12:15. Holy crap! I'm fixing to shut this live down, y'all. Get ready to go in there in bed, go to sleep. I got to do something. I'm trying to, actually, I talk a lot. But actually, like you said, you not only have to talk, but you have to walk the walk. And I know that's exactly how it's created due to all these books that I read or that I have. All the words that's in them, even because I have read little parts of them. I've read little parts of this. I have a TikTok where I read I read The Law of Divine Oneness. I can't see where I read that on there, or a part of it. And I have that on there, and then I have some parts where I read specific parts of the Kabbalion. I don't know if you've read these books, but very interesting books. And this one, I haven't, there's a lot of things that I haven't even tried yet. But when it comes to the Akashic Records and tapping into it, I haven't necessarily done it myself because I haven't had need to yet, because everything that I have questioned, I have had answered. And a lot of things that they just come to me naturally. It's not that I have to sit there and ask the question, because I've realized that my channel that I am opens one of two ways. Whether God is directly needing to tell me something in that moment. There's a disappearance of the universe. I actually have that book. I know I have that book saved in my Amazon account because I seen it the other day when I was looking through it. But this channel opens two different ways that I know of. It's oh my Lord. God directly needs to tell me something, or I can open it. But I do not try to open it. Because there's a reason it's closed. There's a reason it opens and a reason it's closed. And if it's closed, then I do not try to question it. I do not try to open it, because that could allow the possibility to channel something that is not what I need to channel. And like I say, I do study the Bible. When it comes to like all these other books, I read certain parts of them when the need is to read. But when it comes to biblical stuff, I have several different Bibles. I want to get the Ethiopian Bible. I have the Quran, the Hebrew Bible, several different King James versions. I have the Dead Sea Scrolls Bible. But I'm allowed to read these books. And even though I don't necessarily, the King James Bible was originally first printed in 1611. It has 66 books in it. The Ethiopian Bible is almost or 800 years older than the King James Bible, and it has over 220 books in it, which is a big difference from the 66 books that's in the King James Bible, including the Book of Enoch and all that. But yeah, the channel, it's closed for a reason. Like I say, wolf in sheep's clothing. It's possible if I open the channel, it could appear to be a sheep, and I take it as such, but it really not be. You see what I'm saying? So there's a reason the channel is closed. So I don't go messing and tempting stuff that I am not supposed to tempt or mess with, even though I know that even if the seed is there, it takes action or no action to cause it. But I let the channel come as it comes. Yeah, I have that book saved in my cart. Got so many books on there. So many books. But yeah, I'm going to write. I don't know any publishers or editors. I don't even know how that works. I've never wrote anything. But I'm trying to find a publisher or editor to get help, to get some kind of help. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just channeling it and writing it down as it comes. I'm writing it down as it comes through me. Matter of fact, that's what this one says. It starts out, I am not writing this work of the unknown. I am just keeping the body alive. While the many who come through the channel, that is me, use my hand to write down what now, in this day and age, needs to be known and remembered. It's just channeled. I'm just writing down the channeled words. And sometimes writing them down and speaking them is better, because you can think something, but if you don't put it into physical reality, then it will never be more than just a thought here. Somewhere else it's being spoke and created into reality, but you have to create it. But I'm trying to create my own business. But dang, being sober takes a lot of energy. And if I give all my energy to try to be sober, then I don't have energy to get up and try to start my own business, because I'm trying to start my own business, but I don't have the energy to get up and do it, which I'm trying to overcome that. But it's hard. It's hard being human. It's not supposed to be a cakewalk. For some it is, but I guess that's their path, But dang, it's hard sometimes. I'll tell you what's a difficult to read is I don't know if you know these. Hold on, I'll bring it in here real quick. Hold on, give me a second. Are you comfortable, dog? Oh my God. Get out of here. This is the complete mystical records of Dr. John Dee. These, there's his family seal. This isn't an expensive book set. These were sent to me, actually. These are his actual writings. You can see the outlines of the pages that were the original pages. I got the 3-volume set. These were sent to me. And when I looked this book up, or this book series, I ain't very cheap. I got the 3 set of them. Dr. John Dee's complete mystical records, transcribed from the 16th century manuscripts, documenting Dee's conversations with angels. Yeah. I don't know who in the right mind had the audacity to send me something like this, knowing that my education don't even let me hardly read the book cover. And you expect me to be able to understand these books. Go figure. Some of the things that I was able to understand from the get-go, like quantum mechanics and quantum physics. I've seen how it operated, but can I put it into words? Maybe one day I can, but right now I can't, because I haven't studied it. I haven't tried to even study it, because sometimes to define something takes a lot of explaining and a lot of explanation, but the base form of it is very freaking simple. It's very, very simple how everything operates. Yeah, it's very, very simple. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shut this live down, y'all. It's late. My back hurts. And hopefully I can start doing more lives. I need to start making more videos and going into more details about a specific thing. And if you have anything that you want to ask me, or anything for future references, if you want me to talk about, or a specific, like the reincarnation cycle, or death, or anything, whatever. It doesn't have to be that. If there's anything, astronomy, uh, different species on different planets, because that was something very cool. And one of my favorite ones that I seen was it was a they were some kind of warriors, but they were blue like a bird. It looked like a bird, but they were like humanoid, and they had this bright red like feathers, like a mohawk, and they lived in jungles, and they were warriors. They were some kind of warrior species, but they were like human. It looked like a human, but looked like a bird, covered in feathers, damn beak and everything. But it was on a completely different reality, and that was pretty cool. And also the mermaid type people, but they weren't like that. They kind of looked like from Wakanda, uh, how they lived in the water, but they didn't have a tail. They looked just like people, but they lived under the water. Those were pretty cool. But yeah, if you want to. Okay, that one. I want to know more about the coming changes and how we can get through it without damaging ourselves. Okay, that you're gonna have to let. I'll make a video. I'll sit down and write that out because there is a way around it. There is a way around it without damaging yourself. But everything involves, like I say, life and death. There is a way to get there, but you might have to die. And I'm not saying that to a lot of things I say. I'm not telling people to go out and commit suicide, nothing like that, because you're not going to get there that way. You don't get there that way. You only get there if that is your action. You don't get there from somebody saying something. But it's a growing process. But I've also had that question because I've wanted to know, how do I keep this body alive forever? And I do believe there's a way to do that. But that is it's like the fountain of youth. People search for the fountain of youth forever. The fountain of youth is through God inside you. It's inside you already. The fountain of youth is inside you. You have the essence to heal your body through God's will. You have the body to not let, you have the ability through God's will to not let your body age, to not let your brain decay, to not let your sight decay, to heal your body. You have that ability. Just like Jesus was healing people. How did he say that it was possible? Through their faith. Your faith has made you whole. Your faith has restored you. There is a way. Yeah, I'm not saying that's a big thing that when I had my experience, that was 2 words that I had to say was I'm ready. And you know, it was terrifying because I know that I had to say I was ready because I seen this aneurysm. I seen it was going to burst and I was going to die. But you eventually have to realize that you can take your soul out of this body. You can put this body on autopilot mode and you can shift into another body. But you'll have to live that life and die in that life. But you can just keep moving. You can keep transferring eventually if it's done through God's will. Everything is through God's will. Everything. Everything. I no longer live with purpose for me. I only live every millisecond for God. Everything that I do, breathe, speak, eat, sleep is for God. Everything. in life and in death is for God. I will give God anything and everything because I am. I am giving God everything and have given God everything and will continue to give God everything. But I believe that we can heal ourselves. I'm a firm believer in we can heal ourselves and live. But like I say, if it's not in somebody's reality yet, if somebody doesn't believe that that's possible, we are not allowed to alter their reality. So until we move to that planet, that reality, that dimension, where everybody believes the same thing, similar, and it's not impossible anymore, that's when things will change. But if they're merging, give it time. It might happen tomorrow. It could happen in a million years from now. It could have happened last year. We're just not consciously aware of it, or some people ain't. And if that is to be true, then you can't do it yet. We can't alter people's realities. But that's the reason that sometimes when I'm sick or have been sick, I go inside myself. And if I say I am sick, guess what? I become sick. If I go inside myself and if it's God's will and I say I am well, sickness goes away. It's like this ear infection. I took 2 Benadryl earlier, went to sleep, and I've been trying to focus on getting it to go away, and it's gone. Now, if it was the Benadryl that did it, could have been, but is Benadryl supposed to get rid of an ear infection? I don't know. But I didn't want to be sick, so I said, I am not sick. There's stuff moving in my house that is not supposed to be moving. Wow, that's awesome. I made that video. I just wanted to say this. I made a video about a cow killer ant, or the velvet ant, and posted on there that I have almost, I don't know if you've seen this, but I posted on TikTok. And it has 355.5 thousand views. So I could see 500,000 views on this video. But I posted that, and I have some people in the comments say that you should kill it. You should follow it to its den, or whatever they called it, and kill the colony. Look, I have a newfound respect in everything. Like, I don't want to kill anything anymore. Unless I have to eat, and I have to hunt my deer or my hog and put it in the freezer, and I have to kill something to protect myself or to feed my family, that is the only way I will do it. Because to me, that is the only right way. If I kill something out of spite, even if it's a little bitty bug, a flea, a spider, that's the reason I used to be terrified of spiders. I was terrified of spiders. I am no longer terrified of spiders. They do not fear. I have no fear of spiders at all. And ever since that's happened, bugs have been following me. Some people don't believe that, but I believe bugs have been following me now. Because bugs know that I don't wish them no ill intent no more. Bees, nothing. I don't wish anything, any bad intent. I'm not fixing to kill anything, no matter what it is. No matter if it's a wasp, a spider, a flea, a tick, that cow killer ant. I don't care what it is. That was created by God. It's created perfect. It serves a purpose. Now, you're damn right. I'm going to swat me a mosquito if that sucker bites me. But it's attacking me. If something attacks you, you don't be ignorant and just, shoot. You can defend yourself. I'm not saying that. It even says that. Do not be ignorant to things. Be aware of things and what their role is and, things like that such. But I have no quarrel with no bugs. Nothing. It's doing its intended purpose. That cow ant, if I picked it up and got stung, it's not that bug's fault that it stung me. It's my fault for picking the little bastard up. If you get stung by a bee, well, you shouldn't have been messing with them. You get bit by a spider, well, you shouldn't have been messing with it. Now, sometimes things do something, but could it be that there's a reason for it? There's a reason why you got bit or stung by it also. It's not only out of ignorance. Maybe that you needed to experience getting bit or stung to learn from it. What that is to learn, maybe don't be around them. You know, something, I don't know. But everybody has their own role. You know what terrified me of spiders was a show, I think it's made in the 80s, I think called Arachnophobia, where the spiders, to a certain spider from the jungle in Amazon comes over here and breeds with a freaking domestic spider, and it creates a super spider that covered this entire town in a spider web and spiders everywhere. That movie scared me, just like Jaws. Jaws scared me so bad when I was little that I did not want to get in a bathtub if it was dark. I would not get in a swimming pool if it was dark because I thought that a shark was going to eat me. And that's the same reason I've never been in the ocean. Never. I live here in Texas. I've never seen the beach in Texas. Never. Never been to the beach. Why? I was terrified of great white sharks. Beyond terrified. Now, am I still scared of them? Physically, yeah. It's scary. Look at it. But I don't fear it. There's a difference between being physically jolted, scared, and then letting that fear set in you. What is that noise? It sounds like there's something growling in the kitchen. All right, I gotta shut this down. I love y'all. God bless you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share it. If you share it, more people hear it. More people hear the words. Like I say, I'm going to write something down and focus on that and see what comes to me more in detail. But yeah, please like the channel. No, my dog's in here on the floor asleep. Whatever that is, I don't know. Oh yeah, we will. Hopefully I can do more lives. But this is it for now. I love y'all. God bless you. And remember, share, like the video, and leave comments, and I can still go back through them. If not, you can reach me on Facebook. You can message me anytime, night or day. I don't care. Facebook. If you don't have my Facebook, I don't know if you do. Hold on, let me show you my Facebook. This is my Facebook, Chad Foster Jr. That's my Facebook right there. So if you have, want to reach out to me on there. If you don't have Facebook, if you have TikTok, because I got TikTok too. I got Instagram, but I'm never on Instagram. But TikTok, if you have TikTok, reach out to me on TikTok. And yeah, that's that. I'm going to shut this down. Good night. I love you. God bless you. And have an amazing day, an amazing night. I'm going to try to. Bye, y'all.